Hey fellas, this is a video of me going through my comments and responding to the ones that disagree with me. Just to clarify, my main point is Ghost of Tabor is going to be non-casual friendly in the future. Also, when I say kids, it is a generalization. Okay, this is Nova ZQ. He's pretty popular like in the Tabor community. Start with this one. Ghost of Tabor will still try to keep their players. They realistically won't be fully realistic, but at the same time they want this game to be good and appeal to all players, and the kids are the main people who buy the DLC and keep money in the devs' pockets and are the reason the player count grows and grows. While that's true, it's both at the same time. My original opinion in this, it's both true because there's gonna be some kids are gonna leave, some kids are gonna stay, and that's just how it is. Nothing else to really say about that, but they really want this to be like Tarkov, how realistic Tarkov is. At least Scott does, and I doubt he's gonna let like the opinions of children, not even just children, but the opinions of people who don't like the difficulty and realism of the game. He's not going to let that get in the way of his vision. Kids don't stay kids forever. As they get older, they tend to replace the people who grow out of the game, as it doesn't fit their schedule as it used to. I don't know, but I think that having kids is important to keeping a game alive in the grand scheme of time. Well, it is, but if we look at it as it is now, a lot of these kids are lame, as I said, and it honestly just depends. I mean, some are going to leave, some are going to stay, but I don't want to say that most of them are going to leave. Not most of them, but a lot are. Okay, so this guy is talking. I don't even know what this guy's saying. Let's see what I found. Okay, yeah, this is a good point right here. I want to clarify that when I say children, I mean kids under the age of 16 who are just annoying. Alright, they're just annoying. Like, I mean, if you're like here, like what I say, if you're 12 and you're cool, no one's gonna care if you play. But if you're older and annoying, they're gonna want you gone. That's just how it is. But usually, it's children who are the ones being annoying. Let's be honest here. When they add plates, I'm leaving. This is my point proven. Okay, this guy's a yapper, right? But we're still gonna respond to everything he says. Hard to disagree, but let's break it down. You've made comments below showing that Scott outright wants this to be a pretty decent copy of Tarkov, but as he said in quite a few CW videos, that he's going to work on it and adjust his vision as he goes. This isn't going to be a one-to-one clone, as he said repeatedly. That is true. However, he doesn't want it to be easy. He always says that this game is going to get super difficult. He wants scavs to be one-to-one to players, as close as they can get it. He wants everything to be difficult. He said that on many occasions, and that's my main point. It's not really about if it's a copy of Tarkov or not, it's about the difficulty of the game. Well, I can't argue that a lot of children will surely move away from the game. It should be understood that children can grow a better grasp for games than adults. They are at a stage where they can learn faster and grasp mechanics at a more leisure pace. That is true, but I will say it's a lot of kids are different. I mean, some kids, let's be honest, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, it makes kids want dopamine from very fast-paced things like Fortnite and stuff. Now, I'm not calling these kids Fortnite kids, but they don't like slow-paced stuff. That's the huge now, I guess. Kids don't like slow-paced stuff. That's gonna get worse as the years go by too. Some kids are gonna adapt, some kids aren't. With that being said, those children will grow up and they will turn into adults that may or may not love Tabor. I bought it a few months after it came up in my feed, and I've showed my younger nephews this game and they love it. Yeah, your younger nephews, right? Okay, so you're their uncle. Anything you do is gonna be cool, alright? It's really just opinionated. I mean, some kids are different. Some kids like Fortnite and some kids like Ghost of Tabor, but let's be honest, most kids are gonna be drawn to Fortnite. What it comes down to, like a few people have stated, is maturity. If you don't want to act mature, then you can directly affect others' experience negatively. But you can't sit and say that you haven't been a troll in games or intentionally bothered someone in a game, because we all have done it at some point. What matters is growing up and not constantly choosing to do that. Well, there's a fine line between trolling and just toxicity. Trolling is fun. It makes people angry, but you're not doing it to be disrespectful. You're doing it for fun, for entertainment, and it's usually completely harmless in the long run. But if you're toxicity, it's a fine line. Yeah, I mean, toxicity and trolling is completely different. I troll all the time, but I'm not toxic. People may get mad, but they're just sensitive, I guess. I don't know. But let's be real. As a community of gamers in general, people are going to be toxic at any age, sadly. I've met more grown men whom I'd rather never load up another game because they are just crappy human beings than I've met annoying squeakers. Those are on COD most of the time in their experiences. Well, COD is completely different. Adults in COD used to be toxic children in COD, and they just never grew up. But this is a Tabor where we're in the toxic children stage, and maybe we'll get to the toxic adult stage if these kids don't grow up. This might be a stretch, but gaming can be a lot like advocating for change. We advocate and fight for it to be better. But then you have the handful of douches that instead of advocating, they slip in to cause problem, hinder others, damage images, and the like. Just take a few people to ruin the whole thing for everyone else. Last statement, I disagree with. This is very vague. Sure, in gaming, yeah, but I don't see how this could happen for Ghost of Tabor as of now. I don't see how it could happen for Ghost of Tabor. Because Ghost of Tabor, Combat Waffle is really on top of their business. A few people being toxic, ruining the experience for others is kind of, I'd say that's stupid. Because how are you gonna let some random guy ruin your experience in a video game? That's just lame. I think this kind of got off topic from the original statement argument. Alright, here's another one. BS. Firstly, all the changes will be gradual, so the current player base will get accustomed to harder gameplay. That is true. Secondly, the game is very hard for kids, even at the current state. No, it's not. The game is easy. It's the same as any other regular game. It's hard at first, but after a few weeks of practice, you're good at it. They will be doing naked runs just like they're doing it now. Nope, they will not be. For instance, Tarkov has systems in place to where you can't do runs like that. You have to have gear. In Tarkov, if you bring in no gear, all the scavs in your vicinity will target you. I don't think that's what it's going to be like in Tabor, but it's going to be similar to where naked runs will not be profitable anymore. Moreover, they will run raids of Scav Phoenix with free loot. That does not make the game easy. If you look at Tarkov, see, we're comparing to Tarkov right now. I know it's not going to be 1-to-1, but it's going to be very similar. And scav runs are good for beginners, but running scav runs isn't going to make you good at the game. Sure, it'll make you rich, but rich doesn't make you good at Tarkov. I can assure you that. And it won't in Tabor either. Thirdly, the game is full of kids because 80% of VR users are kids. There's no correlation between mature. Okay, this is true right here. But I'd say most gamers are kids too, so it just doesn't matter. Kids are more likely to be toxic. There's no correlation between mature Tarkov audience and Tabor. There is, actually. I mean, the gaming community is full of kids, so why isn't Tarkov full of kids? Because Tarkov is hard, and it's hardcore, and it's time-consuming, and those are things that kids don't like. Kids like simple games. Tarkov is not a simple game by any means. Ghost of Tabor right now is very simple. It's extremely simple. There is correlation between that. There's not. Tabor is Tarkov in VR. It's gonna be different, but it's gonna be the same at the end of the day. Fourthly, the game won't be as hardcore as Tarkov simply because it is limited by VR. Well, you're thinking really inside the box here. We know that Scott is ambitious. Scott will push the boundaries of virtual reality because he has lots of money and lots of ideas, and he is ambitious.